Everybody, welcome back to the channel. Today we are going to install some rotors and some brake pads. Or I'm not going to be installing, my wife is going to be installing brakes and rotors on her car. And I'm going to walk her through it on how to do it. And I'm going to walk you guys through it too. Stay tuned. Alright, so I'll go ahead and show you what bolts you guys got to take off, and then we'll do a time lapse and take them off. I'll give you all the torque specs and everything. Alright, let's flip the camera. So, if you've never done brakes, rotors and brakes, let me zoom out. So basically, you got to take off this bolt, which are 12s, and then back here, you got one right here, which is a 14, and you come down here, right here, is a 14. So you'll go ahead and take off the little ones, the 12s first, which will get your caliper to slide off. Then you're going to hang your caliper up somewhere where it don't drop. Then you'll hit those 14s. The 14s are going to be pretty stiff. They're about 80 pounds of torque. And then after you do that, you'll come over here. You'll hit these 2 Phillips screwdrivers to pop the rotor off after you take off your caliper and your caliper bracket. And then I'll show you the brakes. So yeah, and then I'll clean all this up from the rust. When you hit these, go ahead and take a screwdriver, put it in there, and then give it a little couple hits with a hammer. That way it loosens up all this corrosion, rust, or whatever buildup, and then turn it, and then you should probably break free. Alright, so I'll go ahead and hit a time lapse, and we'll get back to you.
Once again.
Alright, so now we're going to check out these bushings, or rubbers, sorry. Check out these rubbers, make sure they're good. If they're good, I'm just going to roll with these ones. Basically what you're going to do is you're going to pull the pins out. Okay, and as you can tell,
Right there, underneath your feet.
As you can tell, they're pretty nasty grease. What you'll do is you'll clean up that nasty grease, check the boot, make sure there's no cracks in the boot. If there's a crack in the boot, most of your kits will come with extra boots, but we're just going to go with the OEM ones because OEM ones are pretty good compared to these ones that they send. And if they ever blow out, we got the backups. So yeah, so then we'll go ahead and hit some grease on those bolts and then slide them back in. Let's get some boob action. Okay, so yeah, so most of the time your kits will come with grease. Go ahead and use that. If you don't, you can use the high temp grease too. It works just as good.
I have to. I don't know if you got enough here.
And just smear it around. Most of it you want down towards the bottom. Or don't. And then you're going to slide it back into the rubber bushing. Oh yeah, another thing was those screws I was trying to get off the rotor, they were pretty seized up. So when we put these back on, I'm going to clean them up. But when you put them back on, maybe put some anti-seize on them so they don't seize back up. So they're easier to get off next time around. But just a little tip, you know, clean up the threads on it and put some anti-seize in it. You have to take them off if you can't hit them with the screwdriver. Impact, but don't hit the impact hard and they'll pop off. Alright, so she greased them up, put them back in. Now she's going to kind of massage them up and down to get the grease flowing. And then when you put the clips back on, they only go one way. The clips for the, what are those called? Brake pads. They only go really one way. Yep, they just kind of snap in. Boom. Now we're going to put the rotor on after we get this done. Sometimes if they don't want to slide clip on, you got to kind of take the metal and kind of bend them out, or bend them around a little bit and they'll snap in. Okay. So once we get that, then we'll come over to the rotor and we're going to take the plastic off and we're going to hit it with some brake cleaner, because whenever you get brake cleaner is right there. Whenever you get these sent to you from somewhere, they put an oil on them that makes it to where they don't corrode when they're sitting on the shelves. So just set it on the plastic or whatever and hit it with the brake cleaner all around. Just get that oil off. Then you're gonna flip it over and you're gonna hit the back side. Anything that the pad's going to touch, you want to make sure there's no oil on it. And when you're putting them on, you want to try to avoid getting oil or greasy hand marks on it as much as you can. If you get some on it, then just hit it again with the brake cleaner. And that should give it a little wipe. Clean rag whenever you do that, of course. And then she'll make sure when you line it up, you line up the screw holes with the screw holes on the hub. And most time when you buy these, they'll have a sticker on it that says front side, passenger side, so you can't get those mixed up. And look, the screw holes will match up right there. So yeah, they'll have the sticker that says front or passenger. So we'll go ahead, I'll stop real quick and we'll clean those up and then put them on. Alright, so I'm using some anti-seize to put on the little screws that go onto the rotor. So we put a little bit on that and then we'll go ahead and thread it back in. I used this to clean up the threads, just needle nose pliers to grab the nut and use that to clean up the threads. You can use it's a Scotch-Brite pad or whatever, works the same.
Is that enough?
Yeah, that's good enough. Just grease it all the way around. And then you'll go ahead and screw them in. When you put these in, you probably don't want to use the impact gun to put them in. You can just hit them with the regular screwdriver as tight as you can with the regular screwdriver, which I don't know where it is.
Okay.
Oh.
These are the right ones, right?
Yep. Yeah. Oh shit, my finger. Sorry. I have problems with my finger in the camera. Yeah, so you just go, put them in, and then hit them as tight as you can with the regular screwdriver. And I guess you could hit them with the impact as long as you're not really hitting it too hard with the impact. That's basically the tire will keep that rotor on. Those are just extra precautions. So now we'll go ahead and stick the control, the caliper bracket on. And when you stick the caliper, when you stick the caliper bracket on, this, okay, you're gonna have the nut there's gonna be a plate like that, and then there's a nut going to go right here on top. So this is going to slide behind the metal. Here, I'll show you guys. So basically, let me get my finger away. So basically, you're going to slide. This bracket is going to go right here on this side of the arm, and then you're going to put the nut through here. I'll show you real quick. Just like that, and then you're going to put. Obviously, you're going to put the nut in, hand tight. And then you'll go ahead and do the bottom one. So these bolts you're going to torque down to 80 pounds torque. That's what the manual says. I'll show you guys a picture of that. I'll flash a picture on it of the torque specs. So those are 80 pounds. And then for the other bolts, these ones that go right here, they're going to be 24 pounds of torque. And then we're going to go ahead and slide the brake pads on. The one with the little clip right here goes to the back side and to the bottom. So right there, that little clip right there is going to go on the bottom on the back side of the rotor. The other one just goes in normal. Okay, now we're going to take the caliper, and you can either go rent the tool to decompress the piston, or you can use a regular old C-clamp to decompress it. I have the tool, but by the time I set the tool up and put it in there, the C-clamp already got it going. It's a lot faster. So when you compress the piston, you'll compress the piston flush, or as far as it goes all the way down. If for some reason your piston does not want to go in, you most likely have a bad caliper. So keep that in mind when you're compressing these. So when you look right here, the piston will be flush with the caliper. Then you'll go ahead and loosen it up, and then your caliper should slide right onto your caliper bracket with the pads on it. So yeah, keep that in mind. If your piston does not compress, most likely either have a bad caliper, which a lot of times they don't go bad, but they happen. It happens.
Yes.
Yep. So when you put these on, it'll just slide on, and then you're going to line this up with the rubber part of it, and then you're going to hit. You'll go ahead and put those in, thread hand tight, and then like I said, those are 24 foot-pounds of torque. And then once you've accomplished that, it's pretty much just put the tires back on, push on the brake pedal, and let those pistons compress on those pads, and you're pretty much good to go. When you first start, these are drilled and slotted. Got them from Amazon. Didn't pay too much for them. Don't feel the need to pay hundreds of dollars for some rotors and stuff. 12. So yeah, we just got those from Amazon with the pads. When you first probably start driving these out, when I put them on my truck, the slotted and drilled, it sounded really like something was wrong with them. But they give them some time, and they wear in, and the noise goes away. But at first it'll sound like maybe you did something wrong, but you really didn't. It's just because it's all new. You got to get them worn a little bit, and then everything will be good. Oh yeah, by the way, when you're tightening and loosening these upper 12s where the rubber boot is, you got to use a 19 on this backside nut like she's doing, and then a 12 on for a socket, because that'll spin. And you just go like that, and that's it. So now, after we're done tightening them as tight as we can, we'll go ahead and hit the torque. I said the 17s are 80 pounds foot torque, and the 12s are 24 pounds. Okay, let me go ahead and stop. All right, so torque 80 pounds. For the big ones, the 17s. You just torque it till you hit the click. I said 80 pounds, a lot of pressure, a lot of pounds. So then I'm going to take that off. Then I'll go ahead and torque the smaller 12s down to 24. Give or take 24, 25. I'm going to go ahead and tighten this bottom nut so your torque does not slip out. 24 pounds is really not that much. Oh yeah, 19. Gotta use the 19, forgot. Bam, that's it. That's it. We're done. So we're just going to go ahead and put our wheels on, and I will throw how much the torque is for your lug nuts. I will throw that on there too. And that's pretty much it. Pretty simple, easy to do. Yeah, so all right, so we went ahead and we took the ASPEC rims down and got new tires on them, and we're taking the old black ones off with the chrome lip. Something you want to look for when you're checking your tires is the reason why we put new tires on this car is because it has cracks and shit. I'll go ahead and show you. Yeah, let me slide it out real quick. Yeah, those are the ASPECs right there. Look pretty nice. Show you guys. Of course, these tires were, weathered. You got this big crack right here. This tire would have blown like any minute. Got cracks all in here. So yeah, so whenever you see that kind of stuff, go ahead and replace your rims. Tires. That's weathered. It's called weathered, where you get all cracks in them. So yeah, so I'll go ahead and put these ASPECs on and then show you guys what the car looks like with the ASPECs on. So I'll go ahead and show you guys what it looks like with the ASPEC rims on it. Go ahead and flip the camera. I got the sun on. Alright, so bam, there it is. Zoom out. Looks pretty good. So yeah, there it is with the ASPECs. I think it looks a lot better. So yeah, looks pretty nice. Yeah, we're gonna go ahead and touch this spoiler up too eventually. Probably just hit it with a rattle can, some black gloss, so it kind of matches better. But yeah, there it is. Looks pretty good. Thank you for watching, and K all day. Subscribe and like.